One of the best fucking movies I have ever seen. I knew Rajat Kapoor is a great fucking actor. Now I know his filmmaking skills far exceeds his acting skills. I loved every second of this film. A dark comedy in its truest sense. It makes you laugh, and after the film ends, you are in a depressing state and try to recall the comedic scenes of the film to bring yourself out of that state and realize that you can't even fake a smile. That's how devastated it leaves you when you know full well nothing unfair happened and they all had it coming from the beginning of the story. It makes perfect sense as far as logic is concerned, but your heart cannot come to terms with the ending because it fell in love with the illusion, Mithya. Only in retrospect you realize there could be no happy ending for the characters, and it was just your naivety expecting a happy ending. That's the power of a story. It can make you empathize with any character, be it good or bad. We start rooting for the bad guys where the bad elements are presented in guise of helplessness, self defense, or humor, like in this film. We are rooting for Ranveer's character, knowing that the real gangster was brutally murdered and Ranveer took his place to infiltrate his family. But because we have gotten along with our protagonist, we don't seem to mind that. The writers made sure of that by sprinkling humor from time to time so as to distract us from the depressive nature of the story. What a great screenplay by Rajat Kapoor and Saurabh Shukla. Rajat Kapoor and Saurabh Shukla made the best use of their hands by writing the screenplay. Should they be creeped out or be flattered by this remark? Wow, what a film! It felt like watching three different films and loving all three of them. First, Ranveer Shore's character's struggle in Mumbai film industry. Second, Ranveer's character and his involvement in the gang. Third, Ranveer's character becoming a part of his lookalikes family. It's like you meet three new people and become best friends with all three of them. You spend time with friend one, you are now really close with him. Now you have to meet two. You are sad to leave your friend one, but you also end up becoming great friends with two. Now you again have to meet three and are sad to leave one and two. But guess what? You are now best friends with three. That's how I felt progressing the three storylines of the film. This is what I mean when I talk about great character writing. Here we see the great writing of Ranveer's character written in such a way that it will blend well in all three worlds without making us feel like Ranveer is not acting like himself and therefore losing believability in the character. Just imagine Ranveer's character not being an extrovert, smooth talker, and rather an introvert, serious character. It would be really difficult to add humor and make other characters and scenarios work. The tone of the film would have been really different. What do I mean? It would have been a really serious film like A Bittersweet Life instead of the cheerful, humorous nature of the film that managed to lessen the opacity of the darkness of the film. In other words, it might not be a dark comedy. Let's talk about all the important characters. Brijendra Kala and Vinay Pathak's characters. Great camaraderie between the characters. In other words, you can make a feature film with just the two of them in a different world. That's when I know this counts as great character writing. The character dynamics of Nasruddin Shah, Neha Dhupia, and Ranveer Shore had a Maqboolian vibe to it, with Vinay Pathak and Brijendra Kala's character complementing it. Ranveer Shore and Neha Dhupia. The driving force of Ranveer's character, beside his fear of death, is Neha's character. Well, the writers did not go too hard on this dynamic to make us treasure it, is maybe because they did not want to add fuel to the already depressing end of the story. They did not make it into a love story, just love as one element of the story. Glad I did not fall in love with the Ranveer Dhupia dynamic, or I wouldn't dare to write the review recalling the film with my heart breaking into pieces as I type each letter. It's a plot driven film, but they did not give up on the character writing just to rush through the plot. Adding a pinch of humor versus pissing comedy all over the place. This film shows you the difference and it teaches you how humor is used. Great cinematography. Beautifully captures the city of Mumbai. You watch a film and you now feel like visiting the place. This film sparked this feeling within me. Music. Great music. That's the most obvious thing to say. I liked it. The film gives you the time to appreciate music by placing it in a way where it does not distract you from the story, like the bird eye view shot with the opening credits. Above all is the screenplay of the film, and also the best aspect of any great film performances. World class actors, except Neha Dhupia, making us wonder where would they be if they were working in Hollywood. Robert De Niro would finally know who he is talking to. What is the significance of color green in the film? Green was the most dominant of all the colors in the film. Why? I think green conveys a sense of calmness and serenity. In this film, it is used to contrast the brutal nature of the story by using the colors of Mother Nature. What is the significance of food in this film? Why was Ranveer's character so much into food? He started fighting with the gangsters over food. That's how desperate he was to eat good food. And by the end, he had no appetite when food was served to him. Kinda telling us his time was up. That's what I think. Or maybe I'm just reading too much into everything. I'm realizing as I'm writing that it's a sad movie that gives you some laughs and entertainment, but after it is over, it leaves you with a sad face. After the kiss of death and up until the moment Ranveer's character gets shot, we were hoping he would somehow magically make out of this mess alive, though I could not think of any such scenario. The flashbacks before Ranveer hits the ground where his memories come back to him, you realize the sadness of his story, and it hits you that all he wanted was to be an actor.